Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open the blueprint for the entire Philippine nation, the 1987 Constitution. And believe me, it's way more than just some old document. It's basically the ultimate rulebook for how power, freedom, and the whole country is supposed to work. So, right off the bat, let's just jump in. The very first words of the whole thing are maybe the most powerful. We, the sovereign Filipino people. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know, right? It sets the record straight from line 1. The people are in charge, not the government. The government works for the people, and all its power, every last bit of it, comes from them. Period.
And you gotta understand, this document wasn't cooked up in some quiet, stuffy room. No. It was born right out of the streets, directly from the People Power Revolution. It came in to replace the temporary Freedom Constitution and basically hit the reset button, kicking off a whole new democratic chapter for the entire country.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this whole thing down. We'll start with why it's called the People's Constitution. Then we'll dive into its three main parts: your rights, how the government is set up, and where the people's power really comes from. And to wrap it all up, we'll talk about why this isn't just a history lesson, it's a living document that affects you today.
So you can really think of this massive document as having three main parts. That's the key. Everything kind of fits into one of these three buckets. Okay, part 1. Your rights. This is what some people call the Constitution of Liberty. And honestly, this is probably the part that matters most to you on a personal level. Let's get into it.
So what is this part? Well, think of it as your shield. It's the Bill of Rights, you'll find it in Article 3, and its whole job is to protect you from the government getting too powerful. It's basically a big do not cross line, a list of fundamental freedoms and a whole bunch of things the government is absolutely forbidden from doing to you. Now, these rights, they kind of break down into two main flavors, and it's a really simple way to think about it. You've got your civil rights, which are all about freedom from government interference. You know, your right to speak your mind, practice your religion, basically the right to be left alone. Then you've got political rights, and that's your freedom to participate, your right to have a say in how the government is run, like most obviously your right to vote.
All right, so that's your rights, but who actually protects them? Who's supposed to make sure all those rules are followed? Well, that brings us right to part 2. The government. This is the Constitution of Government.
Yeah, you can think of this part as the government's official instruction manual. It lays out the whole framework. I mean, everything. Who gets the power, what the limits of that power are, and how all the different parts are supposed to work together so the country can actually, function.
And at the very heart of this instruction manual is this core idea, the separation of powers. You've got 3 branches, and they are all co-equal. You have the legislative branch, they're the ones who make the laws, then the executive, who enforces the laws, and finally the judicial branch, which interprets them. The whole point of this setup? To create a system of checks and balances, making sure no single part of the government gets too powerful and goes off the rails.
Okay, so we've got our rights, and we've got the government structure designed to protect them. But what happens if the blueprint itself, the Constitution, needs an update? Who gets to make those changes? Who has the final say? That's a huge question, and it leads us straight to part 3, the people's power, or the Constitution of Sovereignty.
So this section is all about this idea of sovereignty. It sounds like a complicated word, but it's not. It's really just asking a simple question. Who's the ultimate boss? Who has the supreme final power? This part of the Constitution spells out exactly who holds that power and how the master blueprint can be amended.
So let's just ask it plainly. Who holds the ultimate power to change the Constitution? Is it the president? Is it Congress? Some other official? I mean, who actually gets to pick up the pen and rewrite the most important law in the entire country?
And the answer? Well, it brings us right back to the very beginning. Full circle. The only ones who have the power to change the Constitution are the very same people who created it in the first place, the sovereign Filipino people. It just hammers home that central idea one more time. All authority, ultimately, comes from the people.
Okay, so why should any of this matter to you today? I mean, this was all written back in 1987, right? Here's why. Because this isn't some dusty old history book. It is a living, breathing document that is shaping the news you see right now.
Just take one example. Article 1, it defines the national territory. Sounds kind of dry, right? But that article defines the country's waters, its exclusive economic zone, and that is not just abstract legal talk. That is the absolute legal backbone for the Philippines' claims in the West Philippine Sea. It's at the center of huge issues affecting national security, our economy, our natural resources. It's happening today.
Look, every single day, Whether you're thinking about it or not, this blueprint is working in the background. It's what protects your right to post your opinion online. It's the reason the government is structured the way it is. It's central to those big national security issues we just talked about. And it is the very thing that gives your vote its power. It's not just a piece of paper, it's the operating system for the entire nation.
So that kind of leaves us with one final big question to think about. This Constitution, this blueprint, it was made by the people, for the people. It's supposed to be our tool to ensure a just and fair society. The blueprint is there. The real question is, are we, the people, actually using it to hold the builders accountable?